More hopeful than ever, Biden's lead on racial equity is a promising signal for reparations, experts say. During the 2020 presidential campaign, Joe Biden was a proponent of studying reparations for Black Americans. After taking office, his administration took multiple executive actions to advance racial equity. The federal government has the largest role to play, Rashawn Ray, a Brookings Institution fellow, told Insider. Last month, Evanston, Illinois became the first U.S. city to pay reparations to its Black residents. The Evanston City Council voted 8-1 to provide $400,000 in housing assistance and mortgage relief to eligible residents through the city's local reparations restorative housing program. This historic vote is the culmination of nearly 2 years of community input, conversation, and hard work, but it follows decades of harmful policies and practices that impact Black Evanston families to this day, Fifth Ward Ald. Robin Rue Simmons said in a press release. It continued, while we acknowledge we have a long way to go to repair all of the damages done by racism, we also know this program will make a real and lasting difference in the lives of some of those harmed by past injustices and will set the stage for additional reparative measures in the future. Reparations were promoted as a means to redress or repair inequalities against by Black people in America, namely those who are the descendants of slaves. They would address the wealth gap between Black and white Americans that, in the fourth quarter of 2020, left white households with a total net worth that was over 20 times that of total wealth held by Black households. The high poverty rate for Black Americans, which was nearly 19% compared to 7.3% of white Americans in 2019, according to U.S. Census data, the low homeownership rate of about 43% in comparison to 73% of white Americans, and racial disparities in health care and incarceration. Before reparations emerged as a key debate issue during 2020 during the Democratic primary, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee introduced legislation H.R. 40 in January 2019 that would fund a commission to study and develop proposals for providing slavery reparations to African Americans. The commission would study and consider a national apology and proposal for reparations for the institution of slavery, the legislation reads. Additionally, the bill would address the fundamental injustice, cruelty, brutality, and inhumanity of slavery. But after the death of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, protests that consumed the summer of 2020 heightened the call for reparations to Black Americans who were already hardest hit by the coronavirus pandemic. Reparations re-entered the national conversation during the summer of 2020. Legislation around reparations gained more momentum in mainstream politics as Democrats worked to confront racial inequality, according to The Hill. But it faced strong resistance from many Republicans and few Black leaders who dismiss the idea as impractical.